cannot believe it's been 3 years that we're celebrating on this show.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 years of this, man.
We're all growing up here on this show.
You know, last year, the community became real, right? We did a meetup last year, but we didn't really go all in. We just got a couple signals about it. This year, we decided we would do a series of like IRL meetups, and we put somebody in charge, none other than the fairy godmother of the community, Jen Filzen. Welcome to the show, Jen.
Hello.
There she is. There's her fairy godmother wand. I love it. Jen, why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of the experience of going like city to city, like the fairy godmother that you are, and meeting people and setting stuff up. Give us a little bit about that.
It has been incredible. You know, keep in mind, we all were craving humanity and getting to know people during COVID when this show was born, right?
Sure.
And so we were just so chomping at the bit to finally lay eyes on each other, hug each other, hang out with each other. And the people in this community are amazing, absolutely amazing. These are lifelong friends. We are building friendships with these people in this community. We really want to get to know each other. We're all cheering each other on. It's just beautiful. But you've heard enough from me. Let's hear from my husband.
Let's hear from Renee. Renee, Jen is clearly the raging extrovert in the family. And you're we call you
I'm the man behind the scenes.
Right. You're the superhero
Right.
in the cloak. That's behind the scenes. What was your experience like going to meeting all the other investors?
It was fun for me, honestly. We got to travel, go to different locations across the country. And like you said, Jen is the fairy godmother. And so she's my she's my foot in the door, so to speak. But I am the one that was behind the scenes, so to speak. But I got to get in front of the camera. And so it was really fun. And then just, you know, when we went even to other locations, just meeting different people and people who were interested in meeting the community. So it was a blast.
I tell you what, I am just so grateful. My gratitude goes well beyond the 3 years that we've been doing this show together. Jen and Renee have been clients for forever, it seems like, and they've been more than clients. They've become really great friends. I would love to get your perspective, Jen, knowing that you were there, you know, day zero really of starting this thing to seeing the community that you have helped to create. What's like the biggest takeaway that you've seen over the last 3 years?
You know, what's really cool, I think not only have we formed these lifelong friendships, right? But then also too, look at the acceleration. Look at the QVC style buying of properties.
I know.
When we're in property that we like, if it hadn't been for this community, would Renee and I already have 6 properties? I don't know. Like, I mean, the goal has always been to buy a property a year, but we bought 3 in 2022. Like, wow, right? And
it's amazing.
I think I've more than paid for myself, right, Greg? But,
oh yeah.
The thing is that like, seriously, like the fact that we all are together in this. I can call up Lee, I can call up Drew, I can call up Nadeem, I can call up Leslie, I can call up all these people and say, hey, I've got a question about this. What do you think about this, right? And you know, Lee called me the other day looking for a real estate agent. And I was like, oh, I've got a friend. So like we are in this together and we're paying it forward because we all know that we are in this race together and we're all going to cross the finish line together. We're doing it in our own different ways, but we're all cheering each other on. It's not something that we're trying to keep secret. We're trying to share the love, share the knowledge, and help others feel more comfortable about it. And I don't know about the rest of the community, but I get a lot of people asking me about the investments that I'm doing. They want to hear more and they're a little scared, but I'm like, just come to the show, come to hear everybody, like talk to everyone. And if my grandmother is doing it, if my mother's doing it, if we're doing it, and we've been doing it for going on 11 years, Greg,
wow.
You know, it's solid. It's just solid. So thank you guys for just being so educational and entertaining. That's what keeps us coming back.
You know, I think we got a pretty good thing going on here. They
they
highlight the entertaining thing. I don't know about the educational thing, but the entertaining thing, I think we hear that from time to time. We appreciate you. Can you talk about maybe what the show or the community has helped you do to have confidence to make some of the decisions? For example, the reverse mortgage that you took out. And as we detailed how that generated over $125,000 in net rental income for you guys. That's a tough decision. What has the community helped in that regard to give you the confidence to make some decisions that maybe average investors don't make?
Well, we started out with a pocket full of cash owing to the fact that we had taken out a reverse mortgage. And this was before you had started honing in on the need to take equity and put it into income. So we were already on board. And that was 3 months before your Not Your Average Investor Show started. So we were rolling along, and we also finalized our first home that we bought through financing in January of that year, 2019, was it? 2019? Anyway, we were already on board, Greg, with your idea of putting equity to work. This year, we keep rolling along. We hosted the family meetup, and then we looked down the road and we saw inflation as a big, big, big obstacle or a big opportunity to get ahead of the game. And so we took one of our homes that was totally owned, did a cash out refi on it in February. And through that, we were able to buy 2 more homes by the middle of the year. And we also finalized the year by doing a private investing. Carolyn turned her 401k into private investment money, and she's earning 10% per year on that.
Awesome.
It's amazing. You know, he knew about turning equities into income even before we started to talk about this on the show. And he's really kind of lived that, and his family's been able to see the benefits of doing that. It's just amazing having you guys a living, breathing success story within this community.
I want to talk about the family story. Karen, can you give us a little bit of behind the scenes of what it's like to be the first family of the Not Your Average Investor Show community? I would just love to hear a little bit about that and kind of how it's affected you.
Well, my husband and I are normally overseas, and we are volunteers. And so for us, we needed a source of additional passive income as well. Yeah, my husband and I, we were looking for a source of passive income that we could do something with his 401k plan as well. And likewise did the lending. And yeah, it's just providing an additional source for us. We are watching the show and just learning those 5 components of the passive income, the different ways that you combat, especially this inflation. It's like, wow. So yeah, I've come a long way even in my own journey, but just watching my dad, and this has been proven to be a really good avenue for him, especially since he's outlived his retirement. And then for me, reaching an age where I need to start thinking, I mean, I don't know that I'll ever retire from what I do because I love volunteering, but at the same time, I enjoy the idea of being able to do more of what I'm doing, because I'm going to also get to that point where I have increased passive income that I can play with and be generous with. That's my end goal.
And then I agreed so much with what Greg was seeing out in the marketplace that I refinanced 2 of my rentals and my personal residence. And then I was ready to go shopping. And so I bought 5 houses all at once. The money was burning a hole in my pocket, but my other friends thought I was crazy.
Right.
Why are you buying more rental properties? And I said, oh, I just love them. And then when you offered your little special for the end of the year, I was like, oh, shoot, interest rates are up, but I have a secret little spot of cash. So when I heard that Jen and Renee bought another one, I had to go get number 6 too.
All
it's
right.
fun to have like-minded people where you speak the same language, and you don't have to have that doubting Thomas to say, you've lost your mind buying these rental properties in Florida. Haven't you heard they have hurricanes there?
I just remember very early on, as you were part of the community, Leslie, that there was this connection that we had, and there was a very like-minded thought process. And so I just look at you as just the shining example of just a woman just really crushing it.
You got to always be open and learn to trust again. After I was burnt in Detroit with a bunch of just lipstick and baling wire rehab people, it was horrible. Yeah. And then you catch the tiger by the tail and you get scratched. And so I watched you for quite a while because I thought, no. And all I did, Greg, was watch the prices of the properties go up. And so that's why I said, this is going to be my year. I'm going to actually jump in. So I'm really glad that I did. And this podcast made it easier for me to trust you, because even though, you know, we're just on the computer, I feel you do get a good sense of who this community is. And so I'm really thankful to you guys to do this.
Man, Leslie, so cool. I love your story. Again, with the whole vision of the thing, it was this idea. We're not your average investors, right?
I love that I'm able to help people get over their issues, their problems, their worries. And because I have such confidence in JWB and the team that you have built, truly amazing people. It doesn't matter who I talk to. I called in and tried to talk to my portfolio manager, and they said, well, she's in a meeting now. Can you talk to somebody else? And they said, oh, let me bring up your investment portfolio. Oh, okay, yeah, we know what the issue is. So the way that your team rallies around anything that has to do with support just completely makes it passive. And it's a joy to work with you. I swear. You know, Karen said, I love that she trusts you, right? And, you know, a confused mind won't trust. You have to have trust to be able to invest. And you coming on this show and giving us access to you personally, right? I mean, this is not Greg, the TV portfolio manager. You're a real life person, and this is how you're genuine. When I've met you, this is how you've been. It's been genuine. So we're seeing the genuine Greg, and that comes across. The friendship that you developed with Pablo over the last 3 years has been amazing. We love to see the banter. And I say all the time, I sit here and I'm laughing as much as I'm getting information. And my wife's going, you've been on the show 3 years. So are you still getting anything out of it? And I said, well, you never know when that golden nugget's going to come out. Like that incentive for 10 grand, right? That incentive that's going to match about 10 grand for January. That's amazing. I wouldn't have known about that if I'd not been coming on the show and watching and listening, smiling.
I just think like the beauty of the show is that we all just get to be real. You don't do something for 3 years straight doing a show twice a week. And sometimes, you know, more than that, right? You don't do that unless it's real. You'd burn out. So I'm so thankful that we get the opportunity to be real.
I bought in 2020 at the end of January, and I was at the last meetup, last tour before COVID. And the first thing Greg said, just come up to me and he said, would you like to do a video? Come on. And I couldn't do it then because I actually didn't tell my brother that I actually did this. And I've been waiting to invest for a long time, and I wanted to do something, but I didn't know how to do it. And I finally figured out that the passive income was the best way to do it. I had some CDs in the bank, and I talked to fortune builders, and JWB sent me some homes, and I said, you know, I'm going to go for this new construction, Lake Mist. And I actually went through with it, and I couldn't believe it. I came down and we toured, and so I got to see my house, and it was wonderful. Yeah, it was great. It was great. And I've been great for the last 3 years, and I've been doing very well. I pay very few taxes thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you always a fan of tax savings like I am, or is this a relatively new thing?
Yes, obviously. But now that I know that I can write off all the real estate expenses and real estate, then I'm all for it.
Would love to know a little bit about your journey. It sounds like you started in Fortune Builders in 2017. Was real estate in your background before this, or how much of a leap of faith is starting to build your rental property portfolio and doing a 1031 exchange?
Oh my gosh. Well, in 2017, prior to that, I was a TV producer for about 25 years.
Wow.
And so it's all kind of a huge leap. Luckily, it was a process where I got to do some fix and flips and got to learn. And again, going to Ignite and ingesting all the education. So I had that advantage. So I know it's a little bit different hurdle for someone coming in brand new, but my gosh, I think anybody out there that's on the fence, you can get enrolled in this in such a short manner of time because it's really a no-brainer, in my opinion.
I love it, Bill.
We found you guys, and we were blown away with all the reviews and the fact that Jacksonville was a very prime area. The capital appreciation was just amazing. And to top it off, I got a peep into your show once, and I was hooked from there on. What made it so special is the fact that I like you guys' chemistry. I like the knowledge. I like the bantering. And I feel, Pablo, you ask very, very good questions.
Oh, thank you.
So
man.
the questions that you're asking, I can see that Greg needs to think about it sometimes, and they are normally very thoughtful. So I'm on because I recognize that this feels like a family. I'm learning something new. I might not be able to be on for the full hour or hour and a half because I have a very busy schedule, but I still make time because I really feel that there's value in education. So that's very, very important. So what made me come back is that I'm always curious to see what your topics are going to be. And to the extent that you provide information, not just around real estate, but also around the market, around taxation, all the issues that are impacting that particular asset class. So the more you diversify, or let's say provide insights around the real estate market, but other asset classes, it will definitely pique my interest, because at the end of the day, when we were pursuing passive income, we thought of how many real estate do we need to get out of a rat race? Because we are highly technical people. I'm just an incurable extrovert, so that I can't help myself with that. But the bottom line is that as long as you're providing that part of it, I'm going to be coming on.